Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Satisfactory. I'm Axon Evolved, and today I think we're going to start working on getting out of Phase 3. It's been too long, and you might notice, we're looking at somewhere where we haven't been in a while. This will all make sense here in a little bit, but before I go any farther, just enjoy the video. I'm not going to ask for you to subscribe. You guys know the drill. Just enjoy the video, and we'll see you later. So this oil stuff, we haven't seen it in a bit, right? We've been doing kind of some other stuff, some ficsmas stuff, a little bit here and there, working on the main base. But I wanted to start collecting all of this oil, right? And you can see we've got some stuff going over here. We got some stuff going in there. And what we're doing with all of this is sending it back to our main base area, right? So we got these guys hooked up. Got some bins left over that just have some plastic and rubber. That's going to be a pretty big hint there. We're basically going to start kind of kicking off some of that production, I think, right? So pretty simple, right? We got all the excess nodes here. So I think these are both, you know what? If we just go up, I made myself like a good organized factory owner here. I made myself some signs here. So we've got 300, 600, 450, right? 300, 600, 450. This 600 is coming from, let's see. One of those is a pure, one's a normal, right? And then over here, I think we have an impure and a normal, right? So these are making the 450. And the way you'd read this is by, the top one is the farthest and the bottom one's the closest, right? So sending all that back, and then we are catching up with a pure 600 pipe here, right? So this is the total amount there. What is that? 12 and let's see, 1050, 1650. Was it like 1950 or so oil? And that's a lot, first off. And we're kind of just sending that all the way down here. I'm kind of earmarking this for rubber and plastic, but I don't know, we may end up using some fuel or making some fuel or something, right? But I think it was important to kind of get it all the way back to the main base. And so we're just kind of running it along the biome here. I'm throwing pipes in, or pumps in as necessary to get the head lift, because we got to go way over there, right? So that's gonna pretty straightforward. But I kind of wanted to show you guys the route that we're taking as our beautiful train goes by. Yeah, so let's pop over. We're going to aim for like right up there. Right in there, right? So let's hop over there and bring these pipes with us. All right, so that was a little bit easier than it might have seemed. And yeah, so we got everything up here. And we've got a long line of buffers, right? The base also looks a little bit different, right? So you might notice that I built out this level that I'm on, which is kind of one more floor height than the existing train system that we have. So that's kind of, we'll see what happens, right? I sort of wanted to get some height on this oil so it could act as like a buffer, or like, not a buffer, but like a water tower of sorts, right? And yeah, I've been kind of filling in these floors because I want to really get some production going. The train spiral is kind of on hold for now. There's a lot I got to do. I got to figure out the outer spiral part still. But yeah, I've been filling out these floors. I've also decided on let's call it a design philosophy change. And you might notice these gaps over here. So let's run over here real quick. As I look down here, you'll notice that we've got now a gap in between the floors here. Well, what I was doing previously was kind of melding these into one floor. Kind of, these two grids here. And it kind of became a pain to deal with, right? And so what I've decided I'm going to do is I'm actually going to keep these as kind of like separate boxes. Kind of similar to this. This one, it has some terrain behind it. So we're kind of just keeping that out of the way, right? But I want each of these floors to kind of be their own boxed in area where we can do manufacturing. And this one in particular is where we're going to do a bunch of stuff, right? So I've decided that I'm going to make phase 3 parts on this level right here, with this one being adaptive control unit. That's the first one I'm going to do, right? So the idea is that we have all those raw resources from the Blue Crater Lake over there. Copper, Caterium, lots of iron, concrete. We're going to use all of that over here to just build what we can, right? I think we'll be able to get a lot. And so that's kind of the idea for this episode. I don't know, because these are kind of complicated machines, I don't know if we'll get all the way towards actually producing some of this stuff, but we'll at least get the parts going. And then maybe in the next episode, we'll actually start producing the rest of the stuff, right? But this is kind of just like a setup and kind of figure out how we want to start routing things. Off the bat, I'm thinking about doing things like conveyor walls. You know, let's see. Because I think it looks kind of cool. You know, if we have something that's like roughly in the same area where we can kind of go up and just like, you know, connect them in. Hold on, let's get up a little higher. Ah, we can do it. Yeah, so where we can kind of like take them and connect them in across the gaps here. Because I think that'll look kind of cool, right? You know, we do something like that, and it, you know, depending, we can space it out along the wall, right? We can have like other ones over here or whatever. We'll have belts running along the ceilings, but this way you can kind of just see all the movement, and when you're moving around, you can see stuff. The front faces are going to be open as well. Not sure about the back faces. I might close those off and, you know, like extend stuff out, kind of. I don't know. It's all in flux about what exactly we're going to do, right? But that's kind of the general idea. So I think first thing we're going to do is start here. And of these parts that we need, this heavy modular frame is kind of one of the more involved, let's say. And I think, what are you set for? Modular engines. Heavy modular frame. So if we look at this though, concrete, you see I've updated it so we get some more round numbers here. But concrete, steel pipes, encased industrial beams, modular frames, right? Some of these, like this has its own kind of factory involved. This kind of has a little bit involved. But this is straight up. But what's nice about all of this is that we can make everything in here from iron and concrete. So that's kind of the plan. So I'm actually going to get rid of this. And I think the idea is that I'll do something like this, where I have maybe like, let's get some room here. Like this manufacturer, just going straight in, right? And then what we'll do is that I'll just make a sub factory for each part, right? So like the concrete is easy. The concrete I'll just bring from there, feed it right into here, no problem. Like bam, bam, we're good, right? Everything else I'm going to kind of spread out in this whole area over here. And I'm not going to be... So I kind of am going to have two different philosophies for how I'm going to set this stuff up. In this space elevator area specifically, I'm not really worried about quantity or efficiency or kind of maximizing output, right? Because these parts kind of take so long and we're going to need a bunch of them over the course of the game, I'm just going to kind of let it... I'm going to set it up to make kind of the minimum possible and then just let it kind of run. So this one might be maybe a little bit more unorganized, maybe a little bit more spaghettified. Whereas when we're doing stuff kind of in the rest of the area, you know, we'll get stuff more like this, where we have kind of max machines utilizing each line to the fullest and kind of doing as much as we can, right? So that'll be kind of the idea, right? Where we're using all 480 iron per minute from these lines, right? So that's kind of the idea there. So I'm going to get some of this stuff at least set up. And then when we come back, you'll kind of see my philosophy for how we're going to do all that stuff. And this is sort of the idea, right? So you can see I brought over the first couple items. And we're literally, you know, concrete coming straight in. Iron we got going over there for iron pipes because we need pipes, right? So this was just this is kind of the vibe of this whole area, right? And if we look, I'm walling stuff off. I'm using the little sky bridges here, and we've got stuff, you know, going high. And I think what I want to try to do especially because we have train output that we're relying on. I'm going to incorporate sinks as much as possible still, right? So you can see here, I've had to move a sink kind of off to the side, and this is kind of subject to change, possibly, because I don't think we need, let's say, 100% of a line's capacity going into a sink like we do now, because the idea is that most of the items are being used elsewhere for production, right? So this would only truly be for overflow, ideally, right? So running things on the ceiling again. An interesting thing I've noticed here is that when you're using kind of the conveyor walls, they are a lower elevation than what you can get from the ceilings. So you can see, like, this is 1 meter ceiling here, and I've put some 4 meter in just to make it closer. But yeah, we kind of have this elevation change that I'm not a huge fan of. I don't know if I'm going to go as far as, say, putting in a 1 meter floor under this, or a 2 meter or something. Let's do that. Yeah, like I think if I did a 1 meter foundation, it would just be a straight shot. I don't know if I'm ready or willing to go that far, but we'll see. You know, who knows? We'll see how it all works out. But yeah, this is the idea kind of in action, right? And what I will end up doing, what I wish I could do, like let me show you, right? I want to be able to go in between these floors from each floor, right? I don't know if I'm going to do that on the inside or like on the outside, similar to that, but I want to figure out how I can use the walkways, right? Like catwalks to get like a clean kind of transition, you know? Like I might just have to kind of mess around with it. You know, like something like that, right? But kind of be able to just go in between them all on the outside or whatever and access everything, right? Because I like what I did here with these walkways. But I might have to adjust them a little bit. Maybe not, you know? Because we have... Like, if I want to run on the outside here, I might need to redo these stairs to be the other way. So the catwalk is actually going that way. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll kind of mess around with that, but getting in between the levels is going to be definitely something on my list of things to do. But for now, I need to bring out over more resources. And one of the things I think is because I have so much, right? So like I had mentioned, I need 36 per minute. I'm only trying to make 36 per minute here. You know what I mean? So like, yes, this is still, what, 144? 72 times 2? 144 per minute? Well, I still have 336 iron ingots per minute that I can use on this line here. So the idea is that I'm going to try to use as much of each line as I possibly can while using the minimum amount of machines possible, right? So like now, encased industrial beams. Well, we have a recipe for... maybe I'll do that over here still. Maybe not quite lined up, but close. Like we got encased industrial pipes, I believe. Yeah. What does that use? Pipes, concrete. What are we literally making? Pipes out of iron. So again, this is just iron, concrete, and that's kind of the whole idea. We have other things. Well, modular frames, right? Well, what do modular frames need? Iron plates and rods, or pipes and reinforced iron plates? I'm not going to use screws, right? But either one of these uses reinforced iron plates. Rods, obviously iron. Pipes, we can just determine we can make out of iron. But iron plates, reinforced iron plates, we can make with iron wire, right? So that's kind of the idea. I'll probably end up, because the iron pipes are honestly super expensive, I'll probably have to use more than one line, probably a second line of iron to come in, but that's not an issue, right? I'll probably actually honestly get rid of this, and we'll move it to where necessary. But I want to bring attention to something else as well, right? I'm going to build out the rest of the modular frame stuff, obviously, but you'll notice circuit boards. Circuit boards are something that needs plastic. Right? Circuit boards, I think, is also a manufacturer item, huh? Oh, no, it's high-speed connect. What does circuit boards need? Hold on, hold on. I'm pretty sure we need plastic. Yeah, one way or another, we need some kind of advanced material. I don't have... Actually, do I? Hold on. We do have some quartz right over here. I'll be honest. I brought over the oil because of what I needed to do here. Like, I knew I was going to need circuit boards and stuff, and I just figured that I'd have to use plastic for that. And I didn't actually look at the recipes. But now that I see this, copper sheets, we have copper here, so we can make those on site. And silica, well, we can just make that right over here. Hold on, hold on. Where is... Let me go find this quartz factory real quick. Okay, so I just want to point out. That's the quartz, and I said factory. I meant deposits, right? There's quartz there. I believe... Well, I believe we have a way of clearing things out. But... Where are they? I don't want to quite go down there just yet. Let's see. There's one. But I think they're all just like in this general vicinity. But the idea is like our main base is right there. So maybe we just bring this stuff over, and it's close enough that I don't think belts would be that big of a deal. What's like... Oh, they're over this way? Oh, yeah, there's one right there. Okay. So we got 1, 2... Weird jungle bean. And the third one is probably right over here somewhere. Right, maybe right next to this Mercer sphere. Oh, God. Oh, God. Gamer time. Gamer time. Oh. Hold on. Hold. I want to take the nest out. Ah! Oh, I almost got him. Almost a real gamer. This is one of those respawned Mercer spheres. We'll find the bodies later, right? But it looks like... Okay, so we got... Is that a geyser too? Where is this third one? 1, 2... It's over this way? 3? Oh, right here. Okay. Okay. So these are all relatively close, honestly. Relatively close to each other and to where we want to go. Like, I even have a floor right there. So what I think I'm going to do... This was not planned. I just am kind of stumbling across this. I think what I want to do is I'm going to work on this factory a little bit. Because I want to get the heavy modular frames at least automated. And then I think we're going to come over here and get this quartz set up to go over there. So let's pop back over there and let's at least get the modular frame, the heavy modular frames set up. Okay, so as I mentioned, I did end up bringing in a second iron line because things, let's say they picked up a little bit, right? And if I kind of move around here, there's a lot more stuff here. Okay, so let's walk through what's happening. We know about the pipes. Pipes, no problem. Over here, we're making the encased industrial pipes, right? So we have concrete, which we were already using. And over here is just another pipe factory. And I think these are underclocked. Yeah, underclocked to 18. Because that's what, 18 times 4, 72 per minute, because we are making what? That's just what we need. 24. So this is all going well, right? And this is all, we're making the heavy modular frames, and then everything else is modular frame related. So here's the modular frame assemblers. Here is just rods, and over here is stitched iron plates. Well, I'm sorry. Here is iron wire. Here is stitched iron plates. And that's all feeding over here to make the modular frames, which is then going over here for one component of this, what is this, adaptive control unit. One component. That terrifies me, computers. This, we found out, is not going to be hard. So yeah, all of this for this. And we've made 25. Okay, so now what I want to do is I think we're going to go get that quartz. And we're going to turn that quartz into silica and just the other kind of raw quartz, right? And I think I'm going to use one of these lower floors. Like maybe this one? You know, that's kind of the beauty about this whole base. None of this stuff is earmarked or set up or anything. I don't want to use anything in this tower because this is all going to be space elevator stuff. But let's go over to that quartz and at least like get that stuff set up for extraction. All right, so we have everything hooked up here. And we got all 3 nodes here. I got them all running together, and we're kind of just snaking it back to the base here. I guess I could have, you know, I didn't look at it from this angle. I guess I could have just done like a straight shot 45 degrees, but it'll make sense when we get over there. But yeah, so we end up having well, let's look at the map actually. We have an impure, a normal, and a pure node, right? And I've put a bunch of the power shards in there, right? So these two, the impure and the normal, are maxed out, which is giving us 150, 300, so 450. And then the pure, I only put 2 power shards in because it's going to give us 480. Oh, wait. 480. So then, yeah, we're just kind of running up this way. And we're hitting that floor directly, right? And I've, of course, got all the power run and all that. And let's go take a look at the space real quick, though. I should probably put, like, a walkway in here, actually. Okay. So what I've also done is I have put all the machinery in that we are going to need. And really, all that we're waiting on right now is just to put the power on. So let's see how this math works out, though, right? So I've labeled these over here, right? We got the 600 line. We got the 450 line. If you look at, well, let's go to quartz, right? If you look at everything that can be made, silica and then quartz crystals, right? Silica takes 22.5 per minute. Quartz crystals takes 37.5 per minute. So my thought was, we'll do quartz crystal in the 600 line, right? So 600 divided by 37.5, 16 constructors, which we have right here. And it's pretty simple. It just splits the input, centralizes the output, goes to a dimensional depot eventually. And then for the silica, that was 450, and that's 22.5 per minute, right? So that's 20 constructors, and we just slap those down over here. Kind of same thing, splits the input. The output is actually split. I didn't do kind of the same thing there, but they end up merging over here. And I have all of them on, both the products on a smart splitter, right? So the idea is that they can be used as source, you know, like a source for items, like how we're going to use this silica right now to make circuit boards. But then also, just they can overflow into the bins as necessary. So that's kind of the idea there, right? And let's make sure this one's set. There. Okay. So I think now all we have to do is hook up this power. And then eventually we'll see some stuff running. So I think the next thing to do is we got to get this silica up to there. Up to there. Because that's the floor where we're doing all the manufacturing, right? I think what I'm going to do... Hold on. I think I'm going to use the conveyor lift trick with the floor holes, right? So if I... Let's see. All right, so right about here. So right about here. Let's do 1 meter. Yeah, that'll be fine. Let's do some 1 meter. Oh, no. Oh, whoops. That's what I need. 1 meter. Okay. So if we come out 1, 2, 3, that's about right. And we do the same thing up here. And we put some floor holes in. Like that. Like that. What you can do, for those of you that don't know this, is you can snap it almost infinitely between floor holes that are placed exactly in line with each other. So like normally, you can kind of see if I'm not aiming at the floor hole, the lift wants to stop there. Like that's its max height. But if I get to the floor hole, then it works, it fits. So we're just gonna end up doing something like this, and then I don't know, I'll probably put a conveyor wall or something like right here, just to kind of make like a clean snapping point, right? So that's kind of the idea for getting that stuff in between the floors. Oh, look at that. We got some stuff running. We got the quartz in here. We're running on both, right? 600 per minute is not flowing. What's the deal there? I bet I didn't power it on or something. Just something dumb, you know? All right. Slight gaps. Of course, I did not power it on. Typical. Let's see it. I guess the 450 is the more important line because that's the silica that we're going to end up using. But it'd still be nice to see some output. There we go. Oh, you know, I guess there should be a gap there because this is 450 and not 480. And you know what I just realized? I don't know why I was saying 600. This will be a 600 line, but for now, it's only 480. So actually, what I need to do... you know what? I'm just going to leave it. Because if it's inefficient, it's not the end of the world. Jeez. 480 divided by 37.5. 12.8. I could just unhook 4 of these. 4.5. No, you know what? I'll just leave it. They'll figure it out. 37.5 times 12 is 450. I mean, I guess I could underclock. Is it worth it? 480 divided by 20 is 24. So if I make them all take in 24 per minute, then this will be accurate. I gotta update my sign. Hold on. See, this is all stuff that you like learn. Okay, so let me think here. I need to input like, let's say if we do 15 out, it's 25, 14, 0.333333, no, 0.67, 0.5, 0.35, Jesus, 375, 0.39, 14.4. There we go. Okay. 14.4 per minute. Jeez. What a pain, man. Who set this up? Seriously. That guy needs to have his head examined, man. All right. Now that that's done and they're all set, now this thing should run 100% efficiently, and we're already set up to account for when that is a 600 belt, aka when we have faster belts, which once we're through phase 3, I think that's going to be a huge deal, is getting aluminum production going, right? And man, are we making a ton of silica. Hold on. 37.5 times 20 is way too much. How did I figure this out? I almost should not be having them merge, man. Whatever. Well, again, we'll figure this out. Once we have faster belts, this isn't a problem. So we're kind of future-proof. So we're underclocking there, and we have way too much output over here. Typical. But anyway, let's go get the circuit boards going, because there's a couple things that I want to talk about, and I've already kind of done some work, so I'll kind of explain what I mean. Okay, before we talk about the machines that are in the background there, we need to look at a couple things, right? We need two things here: circuit boards, computers, right? when I'm looking at the circuit boards, so if I go circuit boards, I'm looking at, we're using this recipe, silicon circuit boards. That's outputting 12.5 per minute. Well, if you looked, we only need 5 per minute for the adaptive control unit. So we have a little bit of extra, right? But we're going to need to make computers also. So one of the things I was looking at was like, okay, well, realistically, which recipe are we going to use? And the reality is, I don't know. They're both kind of sucky. Maybe this one, because we can make quick wire here and we can make rubber here. We could make cable and plastic. That's not a big deal either, but I like the extra output of this one. So what I think I'm going to do, but you see this takes 15 per minute, right? So we had to account for that, right? So what I did, if we go over here, and again, remember I told you, this is going to get a little spaghettified, but that's kind of by design, right? So over here, where we're making circuit boards, copper sheets, silica, right? Copper sheets, I just brought in some of the copper we had, and boom, dedicated copper sheet factory. Pretty straightforward. Silica is also being piped in along the ceiling, coming in here. And then we have an interesting little setup here, right? So we're going to be outputting 25 circuit boards per minute. We only need 5 to go over there. So I have this output prioritizing the center, which is this over here. And any extra is going to go this way, right? So like these circuit boards right here, this is going to kind of back up until we use it. But these circuit boards will feed over there, no problem. This line here is going to eventually go to computers, right? But in order to do that, we got to get some kind of oil processing products set up. And I'm not sure what all that's going to look like, right? So I think we're going to kind of pause/end this episode here. But I wanted to bring you guys in and kind of show you how this is shaping up and what the idea is for this area, right? Because, you know, if you look at this from a distance, right? Because the whole idea is that this thing looks bustling and crazy when you're looking at everything. I mean, that's a lot of machinery, you know? We can go up different levels with the belts and stuff too, right? And we have all these other floors. So this is pretty expansive considering it's all for one part. We're not even doing versatile framework yet, which, I mean, I know that's not going to be crazy, but, you know, that's just, there's going to be steel beams, right? So that's like a lot. Modular frames aren't exactly, you know, small footprint machinery. So we got all this. We've got the modular engines, right? Engine. I mean, look at this. We need rubber, you know? We need smart plating. We need motors. We have our whole starter factory is basically dedicated to making motors. And that's a whole factory, right? So, you know, we have this upper floor. Maybe this will be the modular engine floor up here. But it's just kind of, I like the way this is coming together. Because I think it's all, I don't know, it's going to look crazy. And once we figure out how we're going to get the train, you know, maybe there's going to be a train station up here or something. And the final product, the adaptive control unit will pipe itself up here or something. I don't know, right? That's all part of the grand plan. What I may end up doing is just boxing it all and just hand loading it down there just so we can kind of progress, right? But I don't know. We'll see how it all goes. If you have any ideas, let me know. Throw them down in the comments. I appreciate all that. But anyways, guys, thank you all so much, and we'll see you in the next one.